Never assume you're too smart for cruise mistakes. One tiny oversight could ruin your whole trip before you even leave port. Think you've got it all planned? You might be walking straight into a trap without knowing it. Ready to dodge the disasters most passengers don't see coming? Whether it's your first sailing or your fifth, cruise lines are evolving fast in 2025, and so are the mistakes people make. From accidentally booking the worst cabins to overspending on things you thought were free, we're breaking down the 10 biggest rookie moves people still make this year. We'll cover what the crew won't tell you, which cruise myths are outdated, and how to cruise smarter, cheaper, and way more relaxed. Stick around to the end for a surprisingly easy trick that seasoned cruisers swear by to avoid stress on the final day. Debbie thought she found a steal. An inside cabin on a 7-night Caribbean cruise for under $400. She clicked book now, faster than you can say bon voyage. But once on board, reality set in fast. Her room was pitch black, 24/7, located near the ship's bow, and every night it sounded like thunder rolling through the walls as the anchor dropped or the ship sliced through waves. By day 2, she was popping Dramamine and Googling how to switch cruise cabins. Here's the truth. Lowest price rarely means best value on a cruise. That budget-friendly fare might land you in a noisy hallway under the nightclub, a room with no view, or a cabin that rocks more than a hammock in a hurricane. And let's not forget location matters when it comes to motion sickness, access to elevators, or just peace and quiet. Saving $100 up front could cost you your sanity for 7 straight nights. That's not to say you need to book a suite, but there's a middle ground. Use the cruise line's deck plans and check for cabins midship, away from high-traffic areas like theaters, nightclubs, or crew entrances. Read reviews, watch YouTube cabin tours, and don't blindly choose the cheapest room just because it's at the top of the search results. And here's something many first-timers miss. Some guarantee fares are cheaper, but don't let you choose your room. The cruise line picks it for you. That mystery cabin might be next to the laundry room or directly under a dance floor. Ask yourself, is that worth the savings? Ready for the next big mistake? It's one that can wreck your sleep, test your patience, and leave you wondering why your room sounds like a construction zone. Imagine finally drifting off after a long day of sun and seafood, only to be jolted awake at 11 p.m. by the thumping bass of a DJ 2 decks below. That's exactly what happened to Marcus and Trina, who thought they scored a great balcony room, until they realized it sat directly above the ship's nightclub. Every night was a concert, and they weren't invited. Cabin location is one of the most underestimated rookie mistakes, and it can ruin your cruise if you're not careful. Too close to the engine room. Get ready for vibration and low-pitched humming all night. Too far forward? That's where the ship rocks the most. Not fun if you're prone to motion sickness. Too close to the elevators? Enjoy random hallway conversations and door slamming at 2 a.m. The wrong spot can turn a relaxing vacation into a noisy, sleepless marathon. So how do you avoid the trap? Always check what's above, below, and around your cabin on the deck plan. Aim for a sandwich, a cabin with guest rooms both above and below you. Avoid being under gyms, pools, buffet areas, or dance floors. And don't just rely on the booking site. Go to forums or search the specific cabin number on YouTube. Veteran cruisers post reviews and videos that spill the truth cruise lines won't. And here's an extra tip. Midship cabins on lower decks offer the most stability if you're worried about motion. That's where you'll feel the least rocking, especially on rough seas. Next up, a mistake that doesn't show up until you get your final bill, and by then it's already too late. Diane stepped off her cruise with a tan, a full camera roll, and a pit in her stomach. Why? Her onboard charges came to over $1,100, and that was after she'd already paid for the cruise. Between drinks, Wi-Fi, excursions, specialty dining, and daily gratuities, her budget had exploded without her realizing it. She thought she'd booked a mostly inclusive vacation. Turns out, inclusive has fine print. This is where so many first-time cruisers get blindsided. Cruise fares cover your cabin, main dining, and basic entertainment, but nearly everything else comes at an extra cost. Want a cocktail with dinner? That's $12 plus gratuity. Thinking about steakhouse dining one night? That's another $40. Internet? Some cruise lines still charge per device, per day. And don't forget the convenience fees for laundry, room service, or onboard shopping. The financial hangover hits hardest when it's unexpected. That's why it's critical to build an onboard spending plan before you sail. Cruise lines are designed to get you feeling relaxed and impulsive, which means swiping your key card is way too easy. Know your weak spots. Love coffee? Budget for specialty drinks. Big on souvenirs? Set a firm limit. Even better, prepay where you can. Some cruise lines let you pre-purchase drink packages, Wi-Fi, or gratuities at a discount before sailing. You'll save money and avoid the sticker shock at disembarkation. Coming up next is a mistake that has nothing to do with money, but everything to do with timing. And if you mess this one up, your cruise could start with stress, chaos, and a lot of standing around. Picture this. The ship is boarding thousands of passengers. The line to get through security stretches out the terminal doors. One couple rolls up at noon, thinking they're right on time, only to find themselves stuck in a massive crowd, dragging luggage through heat and chaos. Another traveler shows up at 8 a.m., only to wait 4 hours just to step foot on the gangway. Both situations completely avoidable. Cruise lines assign boarding windows for a reason, and ignoring them is one of the easiest ways to start your trip with stress. Arriving too late risks missing your window entirely, especially if there are delays, long lines, or unexpected traffic. And if you show up too early, you'll be left standing in a crowded terminal with nowhere to sit, waiting impatiently with other eager but unassigned guests. Neither is fun, and neither feels like a vacation. The fix is simple. Stick to your assigned embarkation time. Most cruise lines send it via email or include it in your online check-in. If you want to board earlier, try checking in online as soon as it opens. The earlier you check in, the better the boarding time you'll likely get, and always plan extra buffer time for travel delays, especially if you're flying in the same day. Many seasoned cruisers arrive the night before, stay in a nearby hotel, and roll into the port relaxed and ready. But showing up at the wrong time isn't the only timing mistake people make. Coming up next, a rookie move that feels smart until something goes terribly wrong. And once it does, there's no turning back. James thought insurance was for worrywarts. He booked a dream cruise through the Mediterranean with his wife, flying in from Chicago the morning of embarkation. But just hours before takeoff, their flight was canceled due to a surprise storm system. The next flight wouldn't arrive in Rome until a full day after the ship left port. Thousands of dollars lost. And guess what? No refund, no reschedule, no backup plan. It's one of the most gut-wrenching rookie mistakes, assuming nothing will go wrong. But in 2025, travel is still unpredictable. Weather, strikes, delays, illness, even cruise line disruptions. They can all ruin your trip before it starts. Without insurance, you're gambling with the entire cost of your vacation. And cruise lines? They don't take pity. If you miss the ship, that's on you. What's worse, even after boarding, emergencies happen. Medical issues at sea aren't cheap. A simple visit to the onboard doctor could cost hundreds. Evacuations? Try thousands. Travel insurance often covers missed connections, lost baggage, last-minute cancellations, and medical care that your regular health insurance won't touch once you're offshore. The smart move? Buy third-party insurance, not just the cruise line's policy. Compare providers, check reviews, and make sure coverage includes trip interruption, medical evacuation, and cruise-specific coverage. You can often get a solid plan for less than what you'd spend on one fancy dinner for two. The best part? When nothing goes wrong, you won't even think about it. And when something does, you'll be thanking your past self. Now up next, a mistake that happens on board every day. It's not dangerous or expensive, but it could cost you some of the best experiences of the whole cruise. Lena thought she'd just go with the flow. No schedules, no plans, just soak up the sun and wing it. But by day 3, she overheard a couple raving about the silent disco from the night before, and another bragging about snagging a secret wine tasting with the ship's sommelier. Lena blinked. There was a wine tasting. There was a disco. She missed it all because she never opened her daily cruise planner. Every night, cruise ships deliver a schedule to your cabin, a neatly printed guide or app update showing all the next day's events, shows, activities, port details, and specials. And skipping it is like tossing out a free treasure map. The truth is, some of the best onboard experiences, trivia games, dance classes, cooking demos, art auctions, flash sales, are hidden inside that planner. If you're not reading it, you're wandering the ship blind. Worse, you might miss important updates like time changes for excursions, special safety notices, or limited reservations for high-demand events. Cruise lines assume you're checking. If you're not, that's on you. Here's what smart cruisers do. Every night, scan the planner for things you want to try, circle them, and build a loose outline for the day ahead. You don't need to plan every hour, but knowing when something cool is happening can make the difference between a day and a memory maker. Bonus, most cruise lines now include it in their app, so you don't even need to carry the paper around. Now get ready because the next mistake is sneaky, and it strikes in one of the most relaxing places on the ship. But if you're not careful, you could end up sunburned, dehydrated, and way over budget. The sun was shining, the music was playing, and Brian was on his third frozen margarita by noon. He'd been in the hot tub, moved to a lounger, and back in the pool before lunch even started. But by dinner, he was sunburned, dizzy, dehydrated, and suffering from a brutal headache, all before formal night even began. The next day, he spent it curled up in the cabin while his friends went ziplining in port. The pool deck is one of the most tempting places on board, but it's also where rookies get burned, literally and figuratively. People forget that the ocean breeze makes the sun feel weaker than it is. Combine that with alcohol, constant sun exposure, and not enough water, and you've got the perfect recipe for dehydration, fatigue, or worse. Oh, and let's not forget slipping on wet decks or burning your feet on hot surfaces. So how do you enjoy it without wrecking your day? Use sunscreen and reapply every 2 hours. Stay hydrated with actual water, not just cocktails. Limit alcohol early in the day if you've got evening plans or port adventures tomorrow. And bring a refillable bottle, wide brim hat, and sunglasses. They're not just accessories, they're your first defense. Pro tip, check the quieter times for the hot tubs or adult-only pools in your cruise planner. You'll get all the fun without the midday madness. And if your ship offers shaded loungers or misting fans, stake your claim early. Next up is a mistake that many cruisers intentionally make, thinking they're being clever. But trust us, skipping this one thing could be a decision you seriously regret later. It seems harmless enough. You're on vacation, still in your flip-flops, and the last thing you want to do is sit through a mandatory safety briefing. Some passengers hide in their cabins or wander around hoping to avoid it. But here's the truth. If something ever went wrong at sea, a fire, an evacuation, or a sudden emergency, the muster drill could be the one thing standing between panic and survival. In 2025, most cruise lines now offer e-muster or simplified drills via video or app, followed by a quick check-in at your assigned station. It's shorter, easier, and far less annoying than the old-school megaphone drills. But still, people skip it, and it's a mistake. Why does it matter? First, it's required by international maritime law. If you don't complete it, you can be denied sailing or face a stiff fine. But more importantly, it tells you exactly where to go and what to do in an emergency. Where's your life jacket? How do you reach your muster station? What alarm sounds mean abandon ship? When things go south, you won't have time to figure that out on the fly. And here's a little secret. Crew members are watching. They note who completes it and who doesn't. Not following protocol doesn't just make you look bad, it risks your safety and everyone else's. So do yourself and the people around you a favor. Complete the drill, know your route, and take the 2 minutes seriously. Hopefully you'll never need it, but if you do, you'll be glad you paid attention. Coming up, a mistake that looks innocent, even helpful, but could actually make the crew roll their eyes and put you on the do not help list. Michelle thought she was being clever. On day one, she handed her cabin steward a $20 bill with a big smile, thinking it would guarantee better service for the rest of the trip. But by day 3, her requests for extra towels were mysteriously delayed, and her minibar went unstocked. Why? Because sometimes early tipping doesn't come across as generous. It comes off as transactional or even patronizing. On cruise ships, tipping culture is structured and built into the system. Most major lines now include gratuities in your fare or apply them daily to your onboard account. These tips are distributed among cabin stewards, dining staff, and behind-the-scenes crew you may never see, so slipping cash on the side too early can create awkwardness. Some crew may feel obligated, others suspicious, and a few might quietly pass you over in favor of more respectful guests. That doesn't mean you shouldn't tip extra, just do it the right way. If someone goes above and beyond during your cruise, a thoughtful cash tip or small gift at the end of the trip is often appreciated. A kind note with their name mentioned in a survey or a glowing review to the cruise line can also help crew members rise in rank or earn bonuses. The bottom line? Let your service experience guide your gratitude, not the other way around. Cruise ship crew are professionals, and respect goes a long way. Next up is our final rookie mistake, one that's easy to overlook but can leave you scrambling in the last 24 hours of your trip. It's the last night of the cruise. You've just finished dinner, caught the big show, and returned to your cabin, only to realize your suitcase is still half full, your toiletries are scattered across the bathroom counter, and your final statement hasn't been checked. Worse, you just remembered you need to leave your luggage outside the door by midnight, or carry it off yourself in the morning. Panic mode begins. This is how too many rookie cruisers end their trip. Stressed, rushing, and sleep-deprived on the final night. Why? Because they assumed they'd have time. But between last-minute shopping, farewell events, early morning disembarkation, and long lines, those final hours slip by fast. Forgetting to review your onboard charges can lead to surprise fees, from spa services to drinks you didn't realize weren't covered. And scrambling to pack when you're tired means forgetting things. Or worse, missing the luggage cutoff and dragging a stuffed suitcase through customs. Avoid the chaos. Start packing in stages, at least one full day before disembarkation. Double-check your statement the night before, either at guest services or in your cruise app. If there's an error, fix it early. And if you plan to self-disembark, know the process and be prepared to carry everything off yourself. Elevators are packed and lines form fast. Want a smooth end to your cruise? Think ahead. The last thing you want is your final memory being one of frustration. But don't worry. If you've made any of these mistakes in the past, you're not alone. The good news? Now you know better. Thanks so much for watching. If you've ever made one of these rookie cruise mistakes, don't worry, we all start somewhere. The best part is, now you're armed with the tips to cruise smarter, relax harder, and avoid those last-minute regrets. Got a cruise fail or funny story of your own? Share it in the comments. We'd love to hear what you've learned at sea. And hey, if this video helped you, subscribe so you're always one step ahead on your next trip. Enjoy every moment of your next cruise. You've earned it.